Best thing that you're going to do is start working on your habits before you try to go get the money, before you try to go get the fame, before you try to go get the girl, demand, whatever it is that you're searching for. Work on your habits. Your day-to-day habits will show you the clues of who you're going to become every time.
So why don't schools teach about grants the same way they do student loans?
Because the system that we've been indoctrinated in, right? When was the last time you got a letter in the mail that was like, hey, your business is pre-approved for a grant?
Well, I think I've seen it before, but I thought it was like a scam. So I ain't gonna lie. But I mean,
when you got the pre-approval letter for the credit card, you was like, okay, we up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Nobody makes money off of grant money. Grant money is taxpayer dollars that's given out to support the infrastructure of the cities, of the federal government, and of the local areas that businesses are residing in.
Right.
So if no one's making money, of course, they're not going to widely educate people on it. People are making billions and trillions of dollars off of people being in debt or people paying interest on credit cards and on student loans. So, of course, if somebody's making money of it, they have the engine to be able to market it, to educate on it, and to teach it. But when no one's making money, they're not going to widely give that information out for free.
Right.
So you have to actually be in the right communities and around the right people when you want to learn something that's going to actually benefit your future when it comes to building wealth.
You might have to take notes on this bitch. Famous and Wealthy Podcast. Today we got Stormy Banks in the building, man. She gonna be talking about grants, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, yeah, I'm Stormy. Thanks so much for having me. So I am a certified grant writer, and I'm the founder of what's called Pink Print Firm, where we help small business owners and nonprofits get access to debt-free funding through grant opportunities. And it's so crazy because I got started with this really early on in the pandemic, actually, where everyone was taking on like credit and debt to grow their businesses. And then they were learning really fast that, okay, I might take on this credit card, but if I don't know what to do with it, now I'm just stuck with debt, and it's like, you know, hurting my personal finances.
Right.
So I had already actually got grants in a previous business. I was a hairstylist before.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, is there any other options, right? And I was just on live talking about grants, and it organically like really blew up. And people were like, can you help us just do the grant process? And I was like, yeah, you know what? I can. So I got my certification, which is 1,500 hours to get your grant certification of just like going through proposals, documentation, learning the process. And from there, we started hosting like summits, classes, and offering the services to people to do their grant process. And now, you know, we're here 5 years later, still kicking and rolling.
Wow. So how was it like, you know, as far as when you got your grant writing certificate or whatever, you know, was it hard like dealing with relationships and stuff like that? Like boyfriends and stuff?
You know what? In the very beginning of when I was starting off my company, I was not dating at all. I was very strict on men, very strict, because I genuinely felt like it was a waste of time. I would go on these dates and I felt like the conversations were the same. How was your day? What do you do? And I'm like, okay, honestly, all the time that I'm taking, the hour every, you know, date that I'm going on, maybe I go on 2-3 dates a week. That's 3 hours of time I could have been digesting a podcast, learning a new skill, going on YouTube, going on live, and making money more so.
Wow.
So I actually stopped dating for honestly about 1.5 years. And then when I started dating back, I dated this real old guy because I was like, maybe some old men would help me get more mature mindsets. And that didn't work out either. He was very controlling. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm not rocking with that. But yeah, my first 1.5 years, I was like, I'm not dating. Were you dating in the beginning?
To be honest, yeah, but I wasn't really like I was putting like my goals first. Like even now, I always put myself first over like anything. Like regardless of like what's going on, I feel like God, then my career, then like comes the girls or whatever like that. But mainly just, you know, my goals and stuff.
I agree with that. I think it gets you further in the long term, and when the right thing kind of comes about, it'll already naturally fit into your lifestyle and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis anyway. But when you're like forcing it to try to find that partner, it doesn't fit and it doesn't align with what you're trying to do.
Right.
So I definitely think it's best.
So as far as the grants, I be hearing a lot of people say like, you know, like it's legit. Then I hear like people that say it's a scam. What do you got to say for people that think it's a scam?
Yeah, people think grants is a scam because they don't understand how they work.
Right.
They genuinely don't. They think that you only go for a grant when you're in need, because the grants that most people probably heard about is like, okay, you get the Pell Grant for college, or okay, you get the grant for the voucher for the apartment, or you get the grant for, food vouchers. You know what I'm saying? They mostly think of it as like low income people needing money, instead of, oh, this is actually a tool to build wealth, because I can stay out of debt. It doesn't impact my personal or business credit, and I can still access other people's money to be able to grow my company. They don't know that you can be a for-profit or a nonprofit and literally start going for grant opportunities that range anywhere from $1,000 to multi-million-dollar grant opportunities. So the people that think it's a scam is because they don't know how to think about grants in the process of it. And the people that do know grants exist, they've probably never won a grant, and so they're like frustrated with the process of like, how does it really work for me to actually win this grant money? And then, or they've won a grant before, but they haven't been able to replicate that process. So now they're in a place where they're like, how do I continuously win grants so that I can be able to use this funding to grow my business? Like, what we do is have a strategy and a formula. And this is where people go wrong, is because they're never consistent with stuff long enough for it to actually come to fruition. They do it one time and then give up. You can't do that when it comes to the grant process. You have to actually align with funders, find the right grants that match your business, look at the eligibility requirements, and go for them continuously so that you can get the approval. And then once you do that, you're going to continuously offer more things to that same grantor who already gave you money in the past. But people are like, I'll just take the one grant and then they move on. No, you've missed out on a ton of opportunity when you don't continuously ask the same grant funder for money.
What's the biggest lie that been told about, grants and people getting free money?
That is free money.
That is free money?
Yes. So people don't really know that grants are taxable. So I always tell people it's actually not free money, right? It's debt free, but because grants are taxable, if you get a grant opportunity, you're liable to pay 12 to 20% in taxes on that funding. So it's very important to have a management strategy after you actually win. You have to be set up for success. What are you going to use this money for in order to offset the tax liabilities that you're going to have? Are you going to put it into retirement accounts? Are you going to use it for your marketing? Are you going to use it to invest into a mentorship? Are you going to use it for a continuous education? You have to have a plan when you get that funding. So many times I see my clients, what they'll do on their budget is they'll put, I'm going to go for this grant and I'm going to use 10% of it for like savings. You cannot do that. You cannot use 10% of it for savings, because now you're paying money, tax money, on the part that you didn't use. You have to spend all of it within a fiscal year in order to not have those tax liabilities. So it's really important for people to really understand the strategy that goes behind getting this funding, and that it's not free money, because they also have requirements that, hey, you may have to report what you spent this on with certain funders, or you may have to show us, your profit and loss statements after you get this funding, or we may ask you to do a 6-month mentorship when we give you this money. There's different requirements when you take on grant funding. Because they don't get a interest off the money, they still need a ROI, and that comes from the impact that they're going to make when it comes to the community.
So why do most businesses that apply for grants all the time, nonstop, they never qualify?
You know what it is, Kevo, is that business owners always are in a state of desperation to get money before they actually build a good foundation. And I'll be honest with you, there's like 3 things that you really need to get started. And it's, one, your business structure like literally does have to be in order. And I know that it sounds really cliche, but you need the proper business structure, because it just builds trust. It lets them know that you're already set up and ready to go. You also need to have social media presence these days. Like with grants being money that, like I said, they don't get interest off of, they want impact. So are you actually doing what you say you're doing? The easiest way to prove that is by showing. And the easiest way to show it is through the social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, that you're doing what you say you're doing in your business. And number 3, you need to have a really good financial structure in your business. If a grantor asks you, how are you going to spend this $25,000? And you're like, I'm going to use it for some marketing, I'm gonna use it to get some clients, I'm gonna use it to, get myself together and get up in my life. It's like, okay, great, that's what we're all gonna do. But we want to break down, right? If you're like, okay, I'm gonna hire 5 staff members, 2 are gonna be customer service agents so that we can build our capacity, 2 are gonna be, on my marketing team, they're gonna DM 10 times a day, this is gonna bring in X amount of revenue. Like, you have to break this stuff down, because at the end of the day, you're blindly applying. The grantor doesn't know you and you don't know them. So all the information that that they're getting from you is based off this one application. You got to give them enough information to say yes to giving you $25,000 plus.
Right. So why don't schools teach about grants the same way they do student loans?
Well, because the system that we've been indoctrinated in, right? When was the last time you got a letter in the mail that was like, hey, your business is pre-approved for a grant?
I ain't never. Well, I think I've seen it before, but I thought it was a scam. So I ain't gonna lie, but I mean,
but when you got the pre-approval letter for the credit card, you was like, okay, we up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So the thing is nobody makes money off of grant money. Grant money is taxpayer dollars that's given out to support the infrastructure of the cities, of the federal government, and of the local areas that businesses are residing in.
Right.
So if no one's making money, of course, they're not going to widely educate people on it. People are making billions and trillions of dollars off of people being in debt or people paying interest on credit cards and on student loans. Colleges go up on their prices every single year. Why? Because Sally Mae doesn't mind giving extra money for student loans. So of course, if somebody's making money of it, they have the engine to be able to market it, to educate on it, and to teach it. But when no one's making money, they're not going to widely give that information out for free.
Right.
So you have to actually be in the right communities and around the right people when you want to learn something that's going to actually benefit your future when it comes to building wealth. Because grants is a great tool for actually building wealth. If you can stay debt free long enough in your business, especially in the early stages with 100% ownership, you can really access a lot of growth really quickly, and it's stress free, completely stress free.
Right. How much is your grant writing services?
So we start at 1,000 and go up to 4,000. Now we do have a lot of clients who are winning 6 figures a year, and so what they've done is they paid 20,000 for us to apply to them annually, which is honestly a really, really great price. It's a steal, because if you're winning 6 figures in grant funding every year and you're paying someone like as if on payroll $20,000 a year to just continuously apply to you, meet funders for you, and align your business with grant opportunities, it's a really great opportunity for a business to be able to grow. Of course, you got to be on a little bit of a bigger scale to like be getting those grants. But yeah, we make it affordable for anyone that's starting off or people that are at the really high level in business that want to grow. And we charge upfront flat fee, because I know a lot of people also say with grants, like, do you charge a percentage of what we get paid? No, that's very unethical in the grant world. You're not supposed to charge a percentage off of what you get on a grant, because if we're doing that, what's happening is on the budget, we're writing ourselves in as like an employee or an advisor or a contractor, and we're not. We're simply just grant writers who are doing a service. We're writing the grant, we're finding the grant, and we're applying to it. So just pay us for the time that it took us to procure this information on your behalf.
Oh, wow. So what's the most you think you made in a month just off doing grants?
In a month off doing grants, I mean, I think our highest month is about $560K.
Wow, that's great.
$560K right now. We're doing really great. And we actually have a licensing model with our grant writing services that we offer, which is incredible because it allows other grant writers to learn how to become a better grant writer and own the business model of grant writing, because it is a business. You know, if you can help people get to the next level in their business, it's super honorable, and you can make money at home. We do this literally in our living rooms, in our beds all day long, and just help people access millions of dollars in funding. Like right now, we're at $23 million that we've gotten funded back into the community for small business owners and nonprofits.
Right. So what's the difference between chasing money and positioning yourself for money?
What do you think is the difference?
I mean, I like chasing money and positioning myself for money, both. But I want to know what's the difference. What do you think the difference is for people that's watching?
You know what? When it comes to chasing, I feel like you are looking for outside validation. Like you're consistently trying to do something instead of just simply like honing in and being within yourself in order to position yourself to get the funding that you're looking for, because it's really a mindset positioning, like a mindset shift. There's nothing that I feel like I have to chase in life, because I feel like I have all of the things that I need within me. I'm not chasing a man, I'm not chasing money, I'm not chasing friendships, right? Because I understand that everything that's for me, as long as I'm in alignment, will come to me. I don't need to be validated by doing this, that, and the third that probably doesn't align with my spirit, just to feel like I'm getting the validation of whatever, you know, the society has tried to put on me.
Right.
What would you say?
Like as far as chasing, it just depends on how you look at it too. Like, so for instance, some people might look at chasing as like just making money, you know what I mean? And then, but positioning yourself would be like what you investing in and stuff like that for later. You know what I mean? Now I'll look at now, but if you look at it like that, that's cool too, though. You know, like it just depends on how you look at it.
It does.
But me personally though, I just do both. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I don't like focus strictly on just the chasing. Is always positioning though. That's my main goal.
Well, how are you positioning yourself for long-term growth?
Really just investing, steady dumping into my name, because I always talk about on, you know, my other pods, I'd be like, you just basically have to, like, okay, for instance, if you got assets, that's fine, but I'd rather dump a lot more money into myself. Most people be scared to dump a million, 2 million, 3 million into their own name. But I feel like every day I wake up and I make 40, 50, sometimes $100,000 in a day. You know what I mean? And that's only because I dump a lot of money into myself. So that's my long-term goal, is to steady invest in myself, you know what I'm saying, so I can get to another level.
I mean, your best investment is always going to be self-development.
Yeah.
Learning
but I
more
think
skills.
a lot of people don't think like that. They think like, I need a business. They were taught that I need a physical business that's not attached to me, because they don't believe in themselves that much. They feel like
That's the part.
They feel like if I go get a business and dump all that money into it, that's what they want to do. And I'll be like, no, ain't nothing better than waking up you being the business.
Correct. You
know
can
what I
sell
mean?
anything and go anywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what it is too, because when I was first starting my company, I really looked. I had to do a lot of self-development to really understand that.
Yeah.
Every day when you make choices that you and promises to yourself that you don't keep, you are training yourself that you can't believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And it could be things as simple as like, okay, I'm gonna get up at 6 o'clock and go to the gym. It's 6 o'clock and you didn't go. That's showing yourself that I can't depend on you. Right? You're training yourself to be like, I can't depend on you. I can't trust what you tell me. You're not going to do what you say you're going to do.
Right.
So when they hear, oh, it's $100,000 to work with me, they like, oh, no, I ain't dumping $100,000 into myself, because I've already trained myself that I can't believe and depend on what I say I'm going to do. Even if I believe that this person has clearly done it and it's in my face that they've got these accolades, me has a problem. Not a money problem. It's a me problem. And that's what I always tell people is the best thing that you're going to do is start working on your habits. Before you try to go get the money, before you try to go get the fame, before you try to go get the girl, demand, whatever it is that you're searching for, work on your habits. Your day-to-day habits will show you the clues of who you're going to become every time.
Yep. If you look at a person where they at, like, well, where they was at 2 years ago, and if nothing changed, they're probably going to be there in the next 2-3 years.
Correct.
Like, you posted, like me, I always look at myself like, okay, every month I should go to my Instagram and you should see a difference. Every month you should see it getting better and better. If it's not getting better, then I'm not doing something right at home or like in my business or something. Everything that you should be updating and upgrading everything. You know that they have meetings at companies, like they have weekly meetings of, okay, we didn't reach our goals. Like, okay, we supposed to make $50,000 this week. Why didn't we make $50,000? What happened? You know what I mean? They be strict on that.
You gotta
like,
be.
And you know what's so crazy is like, clearly nobody's buying your product. That's what happened. But they like, no, we should have meet. You know what I mean? So you got to treat yourself the same way. And I always tell people like, really, life is nothing but, when it comes to sales and what we're doing, is mass marketing. That's why I always put a lot of money in ads, blogs, celebrities, because mass marketing is very important. Sprite, Coca-Cola, all these, Mountain Dew, they're still, like, we know these companies, but they're still dumping billions into their every month into ads right now.
100%.
Like, they're not known. So it's like, what makes me different? Like, talking about, I don't want to spend a 10 or 20 or 50,000. Like, no, you gotta continue to dump into yourself.
You really do.
Because somebody's gonna pay. Because there's plenty of people that do what we do. So if we want to continue to grow and stand out, we have to be seen more. We have to be heard more. You know what I mean? And the more like right now, somebody's thinking about doing what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? So if they come out and they got a little bit more money, and they're gonna be seen more. So we gotta stay focused.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
And you got to have a plan, because like you said, every month they're talking about, why didn't we hit our $50,000 goal? They're not scrapping everything, right? A lot of times, like, what people do is they'll get a little momentum, and then when it fails, because sometimes the plan fails at the end of the day, it doesn't always work. That's why it's called a risk. You're taking a risk because it could go either way. But what they do is they like get this momentum. Okay, we built. Okay, it didn't work. Scrap everything and start all the way over. No, actually, if you had a plan, you can see which part of the plan didn't work. Oh, okay, because we didn't have the right landing page, or it didn't get the right conversion rate here, or we didn't have the right email messaging here. You can tweak the plan to be able to be better.
Yes.
And if you're running everything off of just hope and, desire and momentum and motivation, that fades. You need structure in your life. And that's why I'm saying your habits are going to be your best thing going, because once you get that structure, It's up.
It's over.
And it's the
Yeah.
same thing when it comes to grants. It's the same thing when it comes to marketing. You need a plan for what you're going to do, how you're going to reach continuous success if you really want to get to the pinnacle of where this thing could go.
Yeah. So how is it that some people are steady getting funded over and over and over again and others don't?
Is the plan. That's exactly what we just literally talk about. It's the formula. So I'll tell you the formula. The formula that we've created at Pink Print it's called the one proposal strategy. So a lot of times when people go for grants, first of all, nowadays they're so lazy they're using AI. They're just like completely copy and pasting off of AI to just submit an application. It's dry, it's generic, and it's vague as hell. Yeah. And then they're wondering why they didn't get the funding. Well, because we could tell it was AI. Yeah. Next thing that they do is they use different answers every single time, right? So when you're constantly going for grant opportunities and you're using different answers every time, you don't know which answers worked and which answers don't. And you're not asking for the grantor to give you feedback. You submit a grant and a grant denies you, you should be asking them, why did you deny me? What didn't work? What was the problem? Because now that feedback can enhance your application. So if you use one proposal to apply to every single grant, you can tweak it until it becomes what we call the obvious choice. Now you have a proposal that's pretty much going to win 80% of the time every time you send it out because you spent 3 months applying to a bunch of grants, getting feedback, tweaking it, and making it to perfection. So when people are not getting funded consistently, it's simply because they're doing what we call the pray and spray method. They're throwing stuff out there and they're praying, Lord, please, if you could just bless me with a couple dollars. And it's like, that's just not how it works. You really do have to be set up for a structured formula in order to be continuously successful.
Yeah. Can people with bad credit still get grants?
Yeah. The good thing about grants is that if they look at your credit, that's a scam grant, okay? Yeah. There's no credit check. There's no business credit check. There's really no revenue checks. Sometimes they have revenue checks that they want you to have, like maybe making 6 figures in your business. You don't have to have any employees all the time. You don't have to have any history. You can literally get started going for grant opportunities and winning them day one that you submit your LLC paperwork and get it back. So that's the really good thing about grants. Now, what I will say is, like I said in the beginning, grants range from $1,000 to $1 million, multi-million dollars. So you're not going to start day one and be going and getting a multi-million dollar grant opportunity. Right. You may start with the $2,000, then the $5,000, then the $10,000, then working your way up over the course of years. But you can start getting funding. Fund your website, get your first VA that you can have for a couple months working with you, get your marketing going, run some paid ads, like get into some mentorship, get on podcast, whatever it may be. Yeah. You can start getting those grants to pay for you to start, growing and getting big.
Right. So as far as I noticed that people focus more on credit cards over non-repayable money. Like, why is that?
You know what? Because they've made it look like it's easier. They've made it look like it's an easier process because when you go for a credit card, okay, if I have a 750 credit score, X, Y, and Z on my profile, I know I'm going to get approved with American Express or, Capital One, right? When you're going for a grant opportunity, people feel like they don't know what are the requirements to actually get approved for that grant. But this is the thing. They do tell you the requirements. It's just in a different structure and format. It's in a structure of aligning with the mission of the actual grantor and having the eligibility requirements more so than it is a credit profile. So when you reframe your mind, you start understanding that actually grants is as easy as credit to get. And the amount of time that it's going to take you to fix your credit and actually get approved is the same amount of time it may take you to apply for your grants and get a grant opportunity. But one was going to cause you debt and one isn't. Right. So it's really just reframing the process in your mind and learning from actual certified grant writers and experts who have done the process and not just gurus online who are marketing as, the top grant expert who never wrote a grant in their life.
Wow. Damn. So look, as far as what was your mind shift from actually, hustling to building real wealth?
And I just thought about that this morning because I read this book called The 12-Week Year. And have you read that one? Mm-mm. Put that on your list. That was a really good one.
The
12-week year.
Okay.
That was a really good one. I realized that when I was hustling, I felt like I had a lot of time. When I started building wealth, I started feeling like I didn't have a lot of time. So what shifted for me, it was like, okay, you need to get more done because we don't know what's happening tomorrow. We don't know what's happening next year. I don't know where I'm going to be, right? When I was broker and I was in a state of mind where, I got time. Yeah, I could do that next year. I could get that done over that. Oh, yeah, I could put that off till tomorrow. Procrastination was what was killing me progressing. because I thought that I had time. And now I literally run myself as if tomorrow is not guaranteed. I'm like, I have to max out every single day. What can I do today that can help my future self or help my kids or help my nephews or whatever it is that I'm building for? Every day you wake up, you have to max out. There is no tomorrow, period.
Yeah.
That's the mindset shift that I made that literally took me from 5 figures to 8 figures.
So when you look online and you see so many like mentors as males, and you don't really see as many female mentors. Why is that? Like, why do you think that like guys are more dominant in this space than women? Like, do you think that like the women don't believe in themselves? They don't want to spend in ads. They don't want to pay for, like, what is going on with that? Because I mean, I paid a lot of guys, right? But there wasn't too many girls to really pay.
I don't know. I see a lot of boss ladies
right now.
Yeah, who are killing it, who are really killing it.
But like
and
since
doing
when?
their
Like
thing.
since when? Like 2023, 2024. Because like I mean, I've been in the space since 2019, and I started on YouTube, and I was used to look for, you know, women to like try to pay and stuff like that, but it was so many guys, like in the credit space.
In the credit space, yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
in the credit space, but
yeah.
in the full education mentor space, it's some boss ladies who's doing it. And I kind of started in 2020.
Yeah.
So when I came out, it was, you know, Miss Business. It was, I mean, Ariel Pryor's been going off lately. You got Bossy Wit. You got me. You got Ellie Talks Money. Like you.
No, I mean, yeah,
you got some hitters.
No, yeah, for sure. Like right now, I feel like a lot of girls are coming like out, but I'm saying like, okay, so for instance, when I started, it was about like you got the Myron Goldens, you got the Grant Cardones, you know what I mean, like the top people, right? So I was thinking, like, when I was coming up, I'm like, damn, I gotta pay this guy, I gotta pay this guy, I gotta pay this guy. But I was used to look like, where's the girls at? Now they coming up, they like, shit, I'm gonna get on, you know what I mean? It's working. And I'm just like, damn, they really turning up now. But it's good to see women like really trying to like get to that level of like, all right, I'm finna go crazy now. Because at first I used to be like, there was none. You notice, like, even on my podcast, there's so many guys, but it's rarely women. You know what I mean? Or if, like, let's say if we go somewhere, you see a lot of women at the events, but it's the guys, the people that's on stage are mostly men sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the women are, you know, taking
Turning
over the
up,
space and turning up and doing what they're doing, because I think definitely moving into this new climate of life, women are just expecting more in all the areas of their life. Expecting more from men, which I love. They're no longer taking the bare minimum and the non-romance and the, you know, whatever it is, and they're applying the same in their business. Because I know for me, I'm 30, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to wait for a man to turn up. Like, I'm gonna buy my house. I'm gonna get my car. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna travel. And when a man comes, then that's what, you know.
That's basically what I was kind of saying. Like, I think what it was like, if a girl got a guy, she don't want to just jump out there and be that person without him type of vibe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that's probably why. But a guy can just go be whoever. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, the girl would be like, damn, I don't know if my husband or my boyfriend would like this or would like that or like me working with this guy or that guy. You know what I mean? So it's kind of that could be holding a lot of women back. Right?
I could see that, because for men, it's attractive when they rich and successful and got it going on for a woman, and it attracts more to them. But like for a woman, even in my own standpoint, you know, we've always been said that, oh, men are intimidated by women with success or women with money, and it's hard to like be in a relationship because it's hard to like turn off being a boss when you're with your man. And men want submissive women, and they want you to be this and that. But I'm opinionated. I'm smart, so I want to talk. I want to hear it through. I want to work with you on this. I don't want to just sit down and, you know, be barefoot and cooking the meals. That's not really, at the end of the day, I would pay for somebody to do that, because I want to stay in what I think I'm good at doing.
Exactly.
So yeah, as a woman, I think it was like is this gonna make me less attractive when it comes to me wanting to find a spouse? But now we like, man, look, we the rich niggas now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so what can disqualify somebody from getting funded?
You know what can disqualify people from getting funding is there's so many things. The first thing I will say is grammar, because a lot of people don't understand that punctuation and grammar really matters to be able to get a clear message across. If you ever read somebody's caption on their IG and it's like a bunch of different or a bunch of misspellings, it's hard to get what they're trying to say. And for grant tours, if they have to transcribe what you're trying to say, it's like, okay, a no-go. Another thing that you can do wrong is when you apply to grants that you're not qualified for or that you don't meet all the eligibility requirements, that could get your application kicked out. And there's a different type of grant. So there's like corporate grants, state, local grants, and there's federal grant opportunities. What's really important to understand is that each of them have, different requirements or different things that they're looking from the grant, the people that are applying to the grants.
Yeah.
So for instance, with corporate grants, if I'm a corporation, if I'm Sprite, for instance, and I'm going to give a grant to a business owner, if I go on their social media and they, twerking and half naked on the yachts, it's like not a good look for Sprite.
All right.
So you also have to remember that you're going to be a part of their network now. And so they want people a part of their network who actually fit the Sprite morale. So you have to remember and consider those type of things.
Yeah, true. Damn.
So those are the three things that I would say could get you disqualified just on a very basic level.
Yeah. So realistically, how long does it take to become grant ready?
Realistically, you can get grant ready in a couple weeks. Like for instance, we host what's called the Get Grant Ready Summit every quarter. And it's a 5-day summit that we host where people can learn for $5 how to get ready for grants. It takes you through business structure. It takes you through how to find grants, how to write grants, how to manage grants with the tax code. And within that 5 days, if you're doing the homework that we're giving you every single night, by the end of the 5 days, you should be grant ready. You should be ready to apply for grants. And that's literally the whole purpose of that summit, is so that people can be grant ready, So you can do it in a week. You can do it in a couple weeks, depending on, like I said before, do you have that dog in you to actually do what it takes every single day and max out.
Right. What's the first thing that someone should fix if they're living check to check?
Stop spending money.
Yeah. True.
Stop spending money. I don't know why in America, mostly, we've adapted that we need comfort right now. We need luxury things right now. We need the car. We need the house. We need the jewelry. We need the nice clothes. If you actually live below your means and stop spending money, you will be able to build wealth just off the money you're making right now. But everyone has this pride and ego where they're not willing to live below their means and then go out and do the Ubers and go do the drop-offs and, whatever it is that they have to do in order to make a little bit more so they can actually access more things. The pride and ego is killing the American community, and us feeling like we have to have things instantly. That instant gratification is killing us.
So let me ask you something. Okay, if somebody is, young and they trying to start making some money, right, and they want to be serious, do you think it's smart to get into a relationship? Like if they just want to, how girls, they want a man real bad, or a guy, he want a girlfriend real bad. What would you say to somebody that's watching that's like, they want to start making money, they want a successful career, but they also want a relationship?
Well, it depends, but I would genuinely say it's a no for me. I genuinely believe that when you're in a relationship, romantic relationships especially, take so much effort.
Energy and stuff?
Energy, effort, resources, and if you want to have a healthy one, you really have to work towards that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's two people from two different backgrounds or two different belief systems trying to come together as one. And the amount of energy that takes, you're not going to be able to put everything into your business that you want to put in. Now, if you find someone who you guys are literally equal vision, equally yoked, and like y'all both ready to really do that, that could be monumental, where you guys can create something great. I know some great couples who've been able to do that, and they started at the bottom together. But most of the time, it just doesn't work like that.
Do you think it's very rare?
It's rare.
So do you think that, like, I know you're not married or anything, but do you think in 2026 right now, with everything that's going on, with the way the guys think and stuff like that, do you think you would be married? Like in the next few years?
I am married.
Oh, you married?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, damn. Okay, that's what's up. I didn't know that. How long you been married?
I've been married since September 2025.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. Damn. That's fire. Like me, I'm I was thinking about like getting married later when I got like 40, but I didn't.
What's the age? Why is it like an age thing?
I don't know. I just feel like I still have a lot to accomplish. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I just was like, well, let me accomplish all my goals first, and then probably try to get married around like 40 something. You know.
But I'm telling you, in marriage, it's not really about having tangible things or material things more than it is being ready within your spirit, like having space in your spirit to really do that work, because it's so much work just really trying to blend lives together. Like, how long have you been single?
Well, I'm not single right now.
Oh, well, how long were you before you got in your relationship?
Probably like 3 years.
Okay, so 3 years, you had created so many habits for yourself, a lifestyle for yourself, your own adaptations, and then when you got with your mate, y'all had to blend, and it was kind of pull, give and take.
Also, you don't live in Miami, right?
No, I'm in Atlanta.
See, that's another thing. See, Miami different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Atlanta different.
No, Miami different. Trust me. Like it's hard. Like me as a guy, it's so in Miami it's about 20 women to 1 man. Mm-hmm. And also men-wise, it's a lot of wealthy guys all the time. You know what I mean? So it's distractions on both ends for the woman and for the male. You know what I mean? So it's a little hard. So you gotta test somebody who you dealing with. You gonna test a guy, you gonna test a girl, because she gonna stay seeing some guys coming around with a lot. It's too much. Like in Atlanta, I stayed in Sandy Springs. I didn't see too much wealth. Like
you was on the outskirts.
Yeah, true. But I'm saying I was in Atlanta a lot too. But it was more dangerous than anything. Shit, I'm like,
you get robbed now. You get robbed.
So I'm basically saying like here is every second is money, boom, 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 like in your face, or it's body, chest, this, that. You know what I mean? So it's like too much. It's overwhelming. But at the same time, sometimes you need that to see who you're really dealing with, right? So it's kind of like, you rather wait till somebody get to a certain level in age where they're like strictly like focused on the right things too, you know?
I get what you're saying, that maturity.
Yeah, because I mean, like you said, you're 30, so it's kind of like you're young. The person might be, I don't know, you know what I mean? So I'd rather just focus on my wealth. So if something happens,
I see what you're saying.
I can replace that situation and continue to build my wealth and not put all my...
I get what you're saying.
Feel me?
It's like, okay, if I build all of this and then I get married to this person and they not really the right person, focus on the right things, they take half of what I done built. Now I'm starting back over. God. I'm ready to go to jail.
I'll be so mad. Yeah. That's why I'll be thinking like, I'm straight. I'm going to keep building this, you know what I'm saying, and just going from there.
But do you think that's a fear mindset?
I mean, yeah, I know you don't supposed to have fear, but at the same time, I'm a reality base. So
just get a prenup.
No, but for sure. But I'm just saying, like, it's still kind of like, they have to, like they have to do a lot more for me to say, oh yeah, here goes a nice ring. It has to be, they have to work their way to that level. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's a build up. Like I can go buy them anything, do anything, and make them famous and everything. But at the same time, it's like, is it really worth it right now? Type shit. You know? Cause it's like, you didn't put 13 million into yourself. Are you ready to just take this person and just make? Because okay, what if the person never been famous, or what if they never been rich, and then you just smack them with fame, smack them with rich, and then
they don't know how to handle it.
Exactly. Yeah. I done seen people, I done blew people up, and then they switched, traded, did this. So it's kind of like,
it's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, you don't know
until
you see, and then you're like, damn. Now you done gave somebody fire to like actually throw it back in your face, type thing.
All that energy, all that access,
that's
all
what
that,
I'm saying.
All them resources.
Because everybody you know how people is when you blow a girl up, everybody gonna be commenting on her. Hey, I love. Because
now she's starting a hairline and off everything, the momentum that you done gave her, and you like, I just wasted all my energy and time where I could just put that in myself. So I get what you're saying.
I be kind of thinking about all that, so I be like, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
I get it now. If I was a regular dude, then hell yeah, I can get married. I would have been got married. Like, yeah, let's get married. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, it's kind of like me. I don't know.
But why do you feel like you gotta give them all the fame and all the stuff? Like,
because that's your. So I feel like when you get married, you should want to do a lot more for your, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I got homies that got wives, they do a lot for you. You should want to buy them this, do this, because you want them to be similar to you, and then you want them to kind of be like you. Like if I say, okay, this the wife, you want them to be like how Grant wife is. You know what I mean? Like kind of like teaching women and doing this and doing that and like kind of making money kind of like you. If it's not like that, then it's like,
I get what you're saying.
then
It's
if you,
kinda
what if you meet a
worthless.
girl that's similar like that and then you start liking her or some shit? Like, nah, it's too much. You just gotta like.
You sound stressed out. You're like, I'm gonna just chill.
So let me ask you something. Where could people find you as far as like social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm on all platforms as I am Stormy Banks, and it's Stormy with an I, and then the company is Pink Print Firm.
Okay. So what's up with the summit you got coming up?
Yeah, so the Get Grant Ready Summit is March 9th through the 13th. We host it every quarter. This is our 7th summit, and every time during this summit, we get millions of people apply for grants, apply for, funding that they get through that summit. And it literally teaches you from where to find grants, how to apply to grants, how to structure yourself for grants, how to manage grants, no matter what level you're on. If you're a brand new entrepreneur or if you're someone who is, tenured in business, you can definitely learn that new skill. And we've had people who've come through and, hire our team, or they take the information and they, hire their own staff to go for grants consistently. So the information is super in depth. It's all certified grant writers teaching. And it's awesome. It goes for like 1 hour each class. And I think I told you it's like it's literally $5 to get into the summit. Yeah, the summit is like a super easy yes.
Yeah. Okay, so outside of grants, how do you help people, make money?
That's a great question. So one of the really great benefits about being a grant writer is that people can do this at home with little to no skills, right? Like you don't have to have a bachelor's degree. You don't have to have a college education to be a grant writer. We have what's called a certified grant writer program that we offer. And through that program, you learn how to be a grant writer, how to procure grant documents, how to run a grant business.
Right.
And then once you go through that program, we open you up for our licensing deals. So what you can do is basically take everything that Pink Print has built, the structure and the model of it, and you can literally use that and run our model through your own services. So we're working with people, helping them be able to make 6 figures, 7 figures as being a grant writer, and this is all from the comfort of their home with no skill set. So we've had 5 partners that we've worked with so far, and it's been amazing and incredible to see them not only help other businesses get grant opportunities and help the community, but also be able to quit their 9-to-5 job or to be able to just use it as an additional income to be able to save or invest into their retirement. So it's a really good opportunity for anyone who's like, great, I want to learn about grants, I want to do something from home, and I want to be able to also help other business owners get to their success too.
Yeah. So if you were starting from $0 today, right, what would be your exact moves to access capital?
Exact moves to access capital, $0. Do I still have my same knowledge base, or am I starting from?
No, you're just starting from zero. Like somebody that's watching is starting from zero.
Zero. Okay, so first thing that I would do if I was starting from zero is that I would go on helloskip.com and I would apply to what they have on there is their $10,000 growth grant. It's about 3 questions that they ask you to answer, and it's like, what is your business? How would you use the money? And what do you do differently than people in your industry? I would apply for that grant and the other 20 grants that HelloSkip has on their website, and that's how I would get capital, is applying to those grants on helloskip.com, because helloskip.com has about the easiest grants that you're going to apply to that are going to take you the least amount of time, and they award the fastest straight to your business bank account. And then from there, I would use that debt-free capital to, of course, invest into myself or my business.
Fire. So basically, man, make sure y'all tap in. Stormy Banks, famous and wealthy.
Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching this episode. I am Stormy Banks, certified grant writer, and I would love to invite all of you guys to join our Get Grant Ready Summit. Make sure you visit pinkprintfirm.com, grab your $5 ticket so that you can join and meet us on how to learn how to get this debt-free funding. Can't wait to see you there.